Welcome back to Rides Reborn. This is part 5 of our rebuild on our BMW F80 M3. In this video, we will be installing further interior parts such as the carpet and the center console. If you haven't watched any previous parts, you should definitely go check them out. Let's get into the video. First, we started off by putting all of the wiring back into place. We sadly don't have any footage of us putting the carpet back, but it was a very easy step. And everything under the center console is just screwed in and clipped in. I also want to point out that you have to be very careful with this module because this controls all airbags. The module gets bolted onto the chassis, so in case of a crash and the car flips, the car knows that it flipped and the airbags will deploy. So make sure to disconnect the battery first before connecting anything back, because if you don't and you have it connected and turn it, airbags will go off and that will cost you a lot of money. Now the handbrake can go back in. Also a very easy process if you know what you're doing. Now the last part is to put the harness back into place, which holds all the wiring and directs the wires to where they need to go. The next step is to put back these holders, which we screwed back in and flip them up so that they're not in the way. They're both just held in with 2 nuts. Now we will show you how to put back together your carpet after having to cut it to get it out. As you can see, we have to cut the carpet out to get it out because it goes all the way under the dashboard and it's not worth taking the whole dashboard out for a carpet. Even BMW would do this if the carpet had to be removed. Just take a normal hole puncher, which you use for belts, and mark your holes and make them with the hole puncher. After making the holes, you can take your zip ties and connect everything back together. Since this whole part is beneath the center console, you will not be able to see it afterwards. It's like sewing a cut together and there will stay a scar afterwards. If you've made it this far, it would help out a lot if you could like and subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment below with your thoughts or feedback. As you can see, the carpet looks very good and everything lined back up very nicely. And you can barely see that there was a cut and we had a couple of spots which we had to connect back together, but also a very fast and simple step. And after getting everything together and connected, we can now start on putting the center console in. We forgot to put this vent back and quickly had to put it back in before we went any further. We were lucky that we saw that, or else the whole center console could go back out again for a small vent. It took a few minutes, but we eventually got it back in. Take some time to get it right into the sweet spot where it can slide into the position. Once everything is in position, we can start by screwing everything back on and finishing the center console. Removing and installing the center console isn't a too complicated step, but it definitely requires some time and memory to remember what screws go back and where. Now the controller can go back, and this whole piece is also just clipped in. I really like the carbon trim in the car. The last step is to put all of the leather covers back. The one for the shifter is just clipped in, and the one for the handbrake is held on by one zip tie and then it gets clipped in. This was the whole center console installed, and I think this wasn't too complicated. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, it would help out a lot if you could like and subscribe. If you haven't watched any previous parts, check those out. Drive safe and stay tuned.